I'm Erin Jackson with Jackson LLP Healthcare Lawyers, and I'm going to chat about the top 2 DIY fails we see in our healthcare practice. We completely understand the need of small independent medical practices to be budget conscious. However, these top 2 mistakes tend to cost more money to fix than they do to do them right the first time. The first one is a DIY corporate formation. It's pretty easy and quick to fill out the state's LLC formation paperwork. However, did you remember that you also need an operating agreement and lots of other documents? These form the constitution of your business. Without them, your LLC is essentially a shell. It doesn't really provide the liability protection that you need. It's missing all the crucial stuff on the inside that you really need in order to operate your practice successfully, and possibly even to open a bank account. This can cause problems if you later have a dispute with a business partner, or if you later seek the liability protections of your LLC and it's not properly formed. The second DIY fail is doing your own HIPAA policies, informed consent, etc. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't do it. It won't necessarily be a fail if you do your own informed consent form. However, sometimes it takes us more time to review a provider's forms than it does to create them from scratch. And that's because we're familiar with the format and the layout of the statutes and the regulations. We keep up on the changes to practice acts, etc. So when we create something, we usually include footnotes, or at least in our version at our office, we have references to all the statutes that we looked at to be sure that things are up to date. When a practitioner or a practice creates their own forms, we understand they're tailored to that practice. However, they may not correlate with the statutes, and sometimes it takes us much longer to dig through how they're established and how they're organized than it would have for us to create them anew. And with HIPAA policies, that is just not a DIY project. HIPAA includes security rule, privacy rule, breach notification requirements. It's a massive law that requires massive amounts of compliance language that's really specific and will be crucial if you're audited. That is not a DIY thing. That is not a download it online and fill in my practice name thing. It needs to be tailored to your practice. There are ways to save money and be economical when establishing a practice, and we're happy to chat with you about some of those things. For example, with HIPAA compliance, you don't necessarily need a $200 a month EMR. G Suite, or Google's business platform, if you execute their BAA, will usually provide HIPAA compliant software for around $10 a month. This and other tips can help you save money when you're getting your practice off the ground. But with the legal stuff, it's usually better to leave it to the lawyers. We're happy to help, and we do offer an initial complimentary consultation for those looking to open their own practice or looking to hit rewind and get stuff set up the right way. For tips on how to keep your healthcare practice compliant, subscribe to our YouTube channel.